Hello then, welcome back to France and Than Napoleon. Last time we ended up in a war with England, and well, I'm beating their asses pretty severely here. The goal for this war will be is pretty straightforward. I'll take Cornwall and Wessex for myself, and I'll also finish Scotland, basically, as well as war operations. And I think it would be hilarious if I released Northumberland, but I won't. I think this is actually what we'll be going for, because again, I will get some aggressive expansion, to be perfectly honest, but it won't be too much, and I think you can deal with that. Of course, what we'll also be taking is their colonies, because they are definitely something that I want, and that brings us up to a perfect 99% war score. And we'll of course be working towards that. It'll give me a lot of aggressive expansion with a lot of countries, but it's perfectly fine. And this should again slow England down. It will allow me to have easy access to actually getting the colonization off the line. I'll annex Scotland after this, which will allow me to fabricate claims to Norway and fight the wars with them independently. I should probably actually invade Norway, just figure out where their capital is. Trøndelag. So we're going to actually invade Trøndelag here. We're going to send probably 24,000 men, since we're up against both Norway and Sweden, and they do have a decent amount of force left. So what we're going to do is actually just move this army over to Aberdeen, and we're going to actually send our forces into Norwegian lands for the sole purpose of forcing Norway. I might take their colonies, I'll have to see, but the goal here will be to force Norway to give up their alliance with England so I can attack them whenever I please in the future. We'll also go ahead and take military attack 13 Tronians. I should actually have waited 2 more months, but that is my bad. I have no need for actually min-maxing here, so I should not be as focused on that, but that's another issue entirely. Artillery fire plus 0.4, artillery shock plus 1, and I can now have small cast iron cannons and large cast iron cannons, which basically means that my cannons have been upgraded. I think we'll go with the small ones. But anyways, we could also take the last idea, humanist tolerance, but I'm going to need my, well, admin points for other things. There's apparently an English Navy here, which is slowing me down, but we'll deal with that. It shouldn't be too much of a problem. And again, due to the fact that I made Scotland not be a part of the war, I can't actually hand provinces over to them. It's something that I did not anticipate, which is of course my bad, and I'll have to deal with that later. So for now, we'll just send 24,000 men to siege Norwegian capital, and that should hopefully be enough to get the peace deal we want. So I'll be back shortly. Funnily enough, here I just realised something. There's a 23,000 man army here. That's basically all my allies. They will march into Sweden. If I do the sweet little thing here of lifting this thing is, I'm just going to focus on getting them over the border first. Unfortunately, here we have stability drop. My king died, and the heir is now in charge, which is not too good, but we'll boost ourselves back up to 0. The reason why that's not too good is good diplomacy, it's good military, but it's crap at admin, which is what we need. That's what we need a lot of. So it's 105, it's not bad, but it's not great either. 545 on the other hand is a amazing heir. He's 14, current ruler is 39, so we might have him for a little while. Current ruler is also general, so he might die in battle. So if you consider that, things are looking pretty good. And again, if I can just get rid of this Swedish fleet here, that will allow my allies to make some moves in terms of getting their troops into Sweden. And that is what we'll be aiming for right now. Why are you guys not going? You're already in Denmark, and I just lifted the blockade. Damn it. Anyways, we'll just do the same, or what we planned last time then, and send our troops properly into Norway, and then we'll see what we do from there. Troop landing has been completed. As you can see, we landed 2 12 stacks. We're going to move one of the, basically keep one in England, and we're going to move the rest down south. The Swedes actually ended up attacking us here, and they got a terrain penalty, which is very good. They're also going up against my, well, current king, so they're going to be punished for that. And again, as you can see, we actually have a call for peace, which is not the best thing ever. And the main problem with the call for peace is, of course, that it is a call for peace. But there's also a very tiny English army here, presumably from the colonies. And again, I do need to deal with that call for peace pretty soon, because I don't want to drive the war isolation too high. because it will lead to problems, if you will. So we're just going to try and try and siege a couple more provinces here, and then we'll see if we can get what we want from Norway, which in theory should be alright. So we'll see how this turns out. Leinster is back in our control, and we'll take Minster too. And then we'll see here if I can get what I am after. Bergenhus has been sieged. We've converted Kent, which is also good. Now let's see here if we can again get what I want here from Norway. Wow, that's going to be harsh then. England is not close to being, well, peaceful or agreeing to my things here. Eating of Nantes, do we want to push this one? I don't think so. Question. Do I have 3 reform provinces? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I do. That's why I can push the edict. But yeah. It's going to be a pain to convert, isn't it? Yes, it will be. But anyways, we're just going to keep on doing the war for now. And hopefully I can get what I want or need to get Norway to give up. Hopefully with the siege of this province. It should, in theory. But we'll have to see. Norway, how are you feeling now? You'll give me a white peace, but not what I want. That's problematic. I might actually just have to wait and siege the Norwegian capital, just to make it easier for me in the future. I can take it now because I do have enough diplomatic power to reduce the war exhaustion without too much fuzz. I can also, of course, use it on upgrading Puri in the future. But for now, I think we're just going to siege or try and siege the Norwegian capital, and then we'll work from there. I'll also start hunting down fleets. I haven't really been doing that a lot to try and help myself out here. Also, Austria and my allies are messing themselves up by basically placing their stacks here and not really doing anything. I did unblock the strait, they didn't care, and as such I'm a little bit unsure what will actually happen here in terms of the future. So we'll sit back and relax, and we'll see what I can get out of this war, and hopefully I will have the English agree to my terms here, which is basically taking anything and everything they've colonized in just one fell swoop. And I'll also annex Portugal and also Scotland, because they just don't serve any purpose to me anymore. They simply don't. The Portuguese, even though I'm paying them subsidies, are not colonizing. They're not colonizing at all. So that's no longer a viable strategy, which is sad. But we'll deal with that as we go. I'll use England and Holland as colonizers for me. And I'm a little bit unsure how I want to handle Holland. They already have 2 colonies up. They're setting up a 3rd. And again, I do definitely need to get myself into war with them. Denmark and Austria. I'll most likely have to betray Austria if I want to pull this off, which is going to be harsh no matter what happens. They're starting to get a couple more allies. So we'll have to see. Worst case scenario, I'll just have to take exploration ideas next, which is actually not a dumb idea, to be perfectly honest, and start colonizing. That's very much what's most likely going to happen here. Just create colonial nations close to their borders. But we'll deal with my excuses. We'll deal with that as we go. For now, we'll focus on sieging Norwegian capital, and then we'll work from there. Interestingly enough, here Norway is willing to give up their deal with England, which means that we're definitely going to do that. Just boom, Norway out of the equation. Very, very nice. And with this, I think I might be able to just peace. Nope, no white peace. There will be no peace. We can walk home now, which is hilarious. So why don't we just do that? Something is blocking the strait there. Well, again, I'll walk these guys home. I could both them, but walking seems to be a favourable alternative. We can also go ahead and end the war with England, and we will, because again, this is what we want, and we're getting what we want. So boom, England has been vanquished. 144 points for Wessex and 115 for Cornwall. Yes, that's expensive. Let's move you guys to Connacht. Let's start the integration, if you will. Annex Basel, 330 points, shouldn't be too bad. And Portugal, how are you doing in terms of annexation? 105. So yeah, we're just going to do this because again, none of them serve me any purpose right now. I might want a vassal just to eat them, but in that case I might as well just release Connacht again, to be perfectly honest. But I don't see any point in doing that, sadly, so let's just have you guys... No, do you know what? I'm going to have you picked up by a ship. It's just easier that way. And I think Castile will be our next target, but we'll have to wait until Portugal has been annexed, which will not take too long. So for now, we'll sit back and relax, and we'll see how things turn out. In other interesting news here, Russia has actually been formed, which is very bad. Novgorod did form them, which means that Muscovy is clear for basically taking here. Potentially, I might actually have to fight Lithuania for it, which is going to be very scary, because Lithuania has actually become a monster. They allied Denmark, Norway, and Poland. And if we check out military-wise, army-wise, they have, as you can see, they're in 4th, 54,000 men. But they're better off than Austria, dare say, because of the fact that they have more manpower, potentially, and all that. I currently have also, well, bolstered my forces. I had a 12k army and a 24k army. So, we are more powerful as well. My force limits have gone up both at land and sea. Full limit is 115. I brought myself very close to that. Naval force limit is 63, so we can definitely start building more ships should we see that as a necessity. I should probably also focus on coring the provinces here, and I think I'm going to just do that because again, it is something I will have to do sooner or later anyways, just to get them out of there. And as you can see, they're very expensive to core even if they're overseas. So we'll have to deal with that sooner or later. But with this, we're now only need one more province. So potentially what I could do, or probably should do, is take Brazil here. Take one province from Brazil, just because of the fact that I can now actually fabricate a claim, and I can probably... I have no idea what will happen if I vassalize them. That's going to be the big question here. If I vassalize Brazil, what will happen? And it's going to be very interesting to get the answer to that, I dare say. Apparently the English have also started colonizing in style. Norway too, to some degree, so I'll have to deal with that. Portugal is very soon to be annexed, and after the annexation of Portugal, we're going to do two quick fabrications on Granada and Murcia. And then we're going to declare war on Castile here. Again, as long as I can case them in, then I can annex them later, even if I, well, need to, so it's not a big deal. Apparently also we have English separatists here in Wessex, Barhones. Okay, this is just annoying, but there's no need not... Seriously, I'm not earning too much to begin with, so I can easily just max that out. I have another one, don't I? Yeah, this one. There we go. Boom, problem solved. Solved. The ones in Europe, though, I want to keep under my control for just a little while longer, and with that, it will now take 5 years. Oh, one is Welsh too, so that's great, I guess. But anyways, for now, we will again just go back to waiting here, and we should be able to beat Castile as soon as Portugal's been annexed. It will also give me even more, well, presence in the area. I'll have, well, plenty of area to work with to begin with, but it'll give me even more now. Denmark has the Count's feud, so they're going to be in trouble for a little while. But yeah, if Lithuania beats Russia and takes Moscow, which is actually kind of likely, I will probably end up taking it from them. Lithuania's tech is, if I'm not completely mistaken, Orthodox. Yeah, Eastern. And they have actually been very, very good. They have been very strong technologically. Their military is Act 13 as well. And they've had good kings. 655, and he's 60 years old. 303. We'll probably toss his the country to a little bit more, well, rebellious areas. Lithuania is also Protestant, which is very, very interesting to see. But we'll just have to deal with that as we go. Bohemia announcing Austria's arrival could potentially be good. And the funny thing here is, since I could for a little while, ally Poland here, I could potentially use that as a... Seriously? Portugal, you crazy. As you might understand, the AI sent a fleet down here. This is the Portuguese fleet that's been sent on exploration. And it's a very interesting exploration because, to be perfectly frank, the attrition should have killed it far earlier. But yeah, it's not really too much I can do about that. The 4,000 Portuguese army will also be dismantled. and we'll add the provinces to trading companies, because again, there's no reason not to, because well, they don't earn me really anything at all to begin with, so I can add them to trading companies with relative ease, and they'll probably earn me, well, give me an extra merchant, which will earn me a lot more money in the long run. But with that said, we're going to fabricate 2 claims on Castile, then we're going to fabricate claims on Brazil, go after Brazil too, and with that said, we'll just have to see what happens here. I'll probably going to have to start making moves towards Europe and Austria pretty soon. So I think what we might do here is start wars on Lucca and Milan, just eat our way through. But again, I have 260 years to get this done, so I have plenty of time. And again, if Lithuania does actually eat Moscow, I can very easily get there. But to be perfectly fair, Russia would be a better strategic target right now. And with that proposition, I might have to declare war on Sweden, or get into a war with Sweden in the future. Once I get to into my war with Norway in 4 years' time, I'll be able to take these 3 islands, hopefully, provided that Scotland has been annexed by then. Judging by this, they should just be. I'll be taking these 3 islands, I'll be taking Iceland, I'll be taking their colonies, and probably also either Bohuslän or Agder, just so that I can start fabricating claims on Sweden and, well, get myself a province close to Russia. I might even just go for taking Finnmark. It would be the easiest thing to do, and I'll probably do that. Just take them and then start beating on Russia and take the Russian provinces. The funny thing here is, if you want to do the Andre Course achievement with France, you probably should actually start beating on Norway pretty quickly, because then you can start beating on Moscow, Novgorod, Russia, and as you can see, even now, this region isn't very highly developed. It's pretty... it's not highly developed at all. Most of Europe here has, well, close to 30, or between 20 and 30 in most of the provinces, making them a lot harder to deal with. Now, the funny thing is, Burgundy is probably something that I should ally right now, to be perfectly honest, because they can eat the Holy Roman Empire without basically eating the Holy Roman Empire. They'll be, to some degree, annoying and deadly, but we'll have to see. If I ally Burgundy, I can definitely use them. Do we have a diplomatic guy? Nope. Then it's going to take far longer to annex Scotland, which means that my war with Norway is going to take a while to get going, sadly. But with that said, we'll leave it here. Thank you for watching. Please leave a comment, praise, criticism, anything you feel like, and I'll see you around next time. Bye.